Being so straightforward.
Recording in progress.
There must be a trap. All right. So, where'd it go? Oh, here we are. How are you today, friends? I put together a memorial, a celebration of life for my mother-in-law, which we did yesterday. People come in from all over the country, and Jennifer's family is somewhat known to me. I've been around them for a decade or so. It was beautiful, quite wonderful to hear the reflections on the life of Rita. Who knew she was so musical and quite amazing to hear the reflections from so many people. Good morning, Donald, my friend. You still fire free up on Quadra? Oh, you still, yeah, good. No smoke or anything? That's great.
No smoke, no fire, no. We're good.
Yay. May it persist. All right, a little allegory here this morning. This is only for those who have discovered that life is sometimes, occasionally, episodically, very damn difficult. Have you noticed? Has that come into your life yet or recently? One day, I have no idea of the origin of this. It's just in my poetry. One day, a farmer's donkey fell into a well. The animal cried for hours as the farmer tried to figure out what to do. Finally, he decided the animal was old and the well needed to be covered up anyway. It just wasn't worth it to retrieve the donkey. He invited all his neighbors to come over and help him. They all grabbed shovels and began to shovel dirt into the well. At first, the donkey realized what was happening and cried horribly. Then, to everyone's amazement, he quieted down. A few shovel loads later, the farmer finally looked down into the well. He was astonished at what he saw. With each shovel of dirt that hit his back, the donkey was doing something amazing. He would shake it off and take a step up. As the farmer's neighbors continued to shovel dirt on top of the animal, he would shake it off and take a step up. Pretty soon, everyone was amazed as the donkey stepped over the edge of the well and happily trotted off. Then there's a little explanation. Life is going to shovel dirt on you, all kinds of dirt. The trick is getting out of the well. The trick to getting out of the well is to shake it off and take a step up. Every trouble is a stepping stone. We get out of the deepest wells not by not stopping, not giving up. Shake it off and take a step up. Turning toward the dukkha. So here we are. Let us come into contact with what's real, with what the present moment is revealing. What's the mood of the moment? How alive is the body? Where is the body most alive? And And let's remember that we are riding on an ancient great lineage. One of the last times I went to visit Ruth Dennison before she died, I slept in the living room. Her bedroom was in the back. And I would wake up in the night, and there she would be with her walker, walking back and forth in the living room at 94, with a creaking of the walker, and there would be step, step, step. And there would be creaking and turning around and walking the 30 feet back across the living room. I wasn't there for Uba Kin or Lady Saida or any of the rest all the way back 100 and some generations. But it's been the same for 2,600 years. What we are doing here of gathering together, coming to sit and practice, no matter what the weather, outer or inner, this is an ancient, ancient lineage. And of course we have the lineage of life, of which we are the cambium layer. We are the bearers of consciousness today. So let's sit comfortably upright. Let's notice the fact of in-breathing and out-breathing. There's really no telling what state we will experience when we wake up from sleep. There's been nobody minding the store. But now, in a moment, we can once again make our commitment to taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Not as a magic talisman, not as a religious, fervent prayer, but as the experience of being here in contact with this moment, this that is awake. With a commitment to being with what really is, cutting through ever so carefully, cutting through the layers and layers of delusion. Layers of delusion. And we do it in the company of our friends, in the company of all life. Coming home to the breath, the actual sensations of life living itself as this body. We are awake to the life of this moment, to the reality of in-breathing and out-breathing, and the mindfulness, the heart-mind fullness, the presence, the sati, opens also inward to any thoughts which arise, to any manifestations of energy in any form. Maybe there's restlessness and agitation, planning, worrying, remembering, strategizing, self-pity, so many possibilities. Awareness, sati, heart mindfulness, shines on all of them equally, fully. There's no need to get rid of anything. It's always appearing and disappearing. We simply maintain a kind of loving intention to remain in contact with the breathing in and breathing out, while emotions unfold, while we fall into various trance states. Like that donkey, we just shake it off and take a step up. And we can be aware, be noticing, be attentive to the beginning of this breath, the middle and the end of this breath. It's a very unusual thing to stop like this. To stop and cultivate curiosity. What's happening? What is the experience of being alive today, right now? What is the life in the hands like right now? Or the life in the legs? The life of the face? Not a description, an experience. What are the broad outlines of what's happening in the mind now? Is this a moment when mind is calm and quiet? When there might even be some bliss or delight? Maybe for a few breaths or longer? Has the entirety of the worrying world fallen away, so there's just awareness and breathing? Or awareness that includes the mind thinking but with no reaction? Or is there some sense of striving, trying to get somewhere? Some sense of urgency or restlessness or sleepy dullness or wanting something not? We settle back into this moment of breath, this moment of mind, this moment of body. Remembering that thread of profound, utter, complete acceptance. I aspire to love and accept myself, to love and accept that which exists exactly as it is in this moment. What a relief. And we may well encounter discomfort or suffering of various kinds. Whenever that's the case, I aspire to hold myself in sweet compassion, profound kindness. we allow ourselves to sit rooted like giant sequoias, like large rocks dropped at the end of the last ice age. Sometimes one finds these large rocks, boulders even, far from anything else of the kind, carried by the ice hundreds of miles. And then they landed somewhere, rather like us. We landed from somewhere. And all the tasks, all the to-dos, all the responding to fantasies and emotion can be seen as objects of awareness. As we allow rooting to take place here in reality, in this moment of breathing and being alive, right here, right now. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Portland. I don't see a cloud in the little window of sky I have from here. You probably all have been present with this information I'm about to share, which is that I will be here through Thursday morning. And then on Friday, I'll be on Icelandic air to Reykjavik and then to Frankfurt, where my friend Frank will pick me up and we will spend close to 2 weeks together, including teaching a 5-day retreat. Jim and the other teachers will be keeping the fires burning in my absence. And I'm considering I may try to Zoom in maybe one morning. I'm not sure if that'll work or not. So all the other things happened at PIMC, the evening gatherings. Jim is teaching Qigong next Saturday, Qigong and meditation and poetry. The first and third Sunday nights, Candle Summers teaches, 6:30. And every Sunday night, the Be Queer Now group gathers to warm their hearts together. Jim, is there anything else that I ought to mention or that you might?
I just thought of Candle's returning to the first Saturday retreat schedule on the first Saturday of August,
Right.
which I think is the 6th. Anyway, it's from 10 o'clock till 3 in the afternoon on August 6th. And I think that's in the digest. I think it's in the first page of the old website, soon to be renewed. But there's more information available on the website or in the digest.
Great. Thank you. So, friends, what of the 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows are you knowing? How is your practice nourishing you?
Robert, it's Pamela.
Pamela, hello.
Hey. I'm going to have to leave early. We have an early appointment this morning, but I wanted, and it's been an interesting process thinking about why it was important for me to say, but Kevin and I got married yesterday. And so, speaking of the 10,000 sorrows and 10,000 joys, that's been an exciting time around here.
So no more living in sin.
No more living in sin. My neighbors were so grateful. They were all just delighted to hear. So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah. So there you have it.
So
Congratulations.
congratulations. We are showering you with confetti and love and much happiness for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. We've only been together 10 years. So
I see. Well, you got to check each other out pretty thoroughly before you get
that's
married.
right. We wanted to make sure we were sure of this. So
right.
thank you.
I noticed that in the chat there's a very lovely little note. The link below brings us to the PIMC donation page. That's very nice. Thank you. It's easy to forget that PIMC exists in the world of commerce. I mean, its pinnacle goes up into freedom. But there is that brick and mortar building and the constant falling apart that happens. In fact, this afternoon, I'm going to be replacing the hinges on the gate into the kitchen because it's unlockable right now. It's just sagged, so the lock won't work. So I think this afternoon, I hope this afternoon it will get brand new, brand spanking bigger hinges so that it can not be a problem all the time. We have 8 tenants. We have 8 offices, probably 13 tenants. And so it's used a lot. Down under the Dharma Hall, there's these 8 offices that are really an important part of our financial structure, the rent from them. So back to you.
Good morning, Robert, and everyone. It's Daria.
Hi, Daria.
Hi. I wanted to share with you all that in the midst of the upheaval of my life on many levels right now, and for those who weren't in a morning set when I said what the problem has been, my cats turned water on, flooded the house. We had to move the entire household, and we're in temporary housing right now on Blue Lake, and it's just incredible here. I've been sitting for a couple hours on the dock while the sun came up and watched the water go from stillness to just slow, dynamic movement. And as the day starts, and just reminds me, this microcosm of my day right now reminds me of what this group brings me every morning. So thank you all for this extended time together each morning over days, weeks, months, and now years.
Thanks, Daria. It's a good thing cats can't get access to our bank accounts. The tap is bad enough, but imagine if they could get into your financial records. Jeez. Oh God, the mind is so insane. I just I just thought of it's a cartoon actually. There's 10 Amazon trucks out front and they're unloading dozens and dozens of cat play structures. It's like, oh look what the cat orders, honey. I mean, what a ridiculous thing for a mind to do. It's absurd.
That might be less money than the water park that they created in the house.
I bet that's true. Right.
But thank goodness for homeowners insurance.
Right. Yeah.
Good morning. It's Francine.
Hello, Francine.
Another glorious day in paradise. My
Right.
goodness. Yeah. Well, I'm looking for some support and maybe networking. Speaking of housing, the eviction house that took more than a year to regain has not been able to be sold for some reason. It's a lovely, lovely home. So I am now looking to rent it if anyone knows someone that's seeking housing. It's a lovely, lovely home. So pass the word if you hear of someone, please.
How big a home is it?
It is a big, giant, mid-century modern, lots of about 1,400 square feet on the main, 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. And in addition, it has an attached ADU of about 800 square feet.
Wow. Okay. Huh.
Yeah, very nice. East side of town.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, really. I just actually contacted a space healer to see what we could do to perhaps liven up the energy around that house, because it's so well put together and it just bewilders me that it is not sold.
Huh?
Yeah, it's an oddity, that's for sure.
Robert,
Hadley.
this is Had. I want to speak briefly to the beautiful Barking Dog Library that is thriving at PIMC. I know most of you know it is open again now.
Mm-hmm.
And over the weekend, I was thrilled to get a copy of a beautiful book that's just been put out by Gary Snyder, Portland poet, Portland Pacific Northwest poet Gary Snyder. It's a collection of his entire publication history, everything he's put out, and a few new poems. So maybe we'll get a copy of this for the library if we can if I can organize that somehow. I just want to say, if anyone's got any books they're done with or ready to pass on, please bring them to Connie's now managing the library. So just bring them in when you can or on Sunday.
Thanks, Had. Connie
And
is
I want to
there
mention
on
Gary
Sundays
Snyder. I
from
mentioned Gary
12
Snyder.
to
He
2.
really introduced me to the deep tradition of this Buddhist practice with his life. And it brings to present for me the fact that he spoke at the Dharma Rain Zen Center, where the Portland Vipassana Sangha used to sit on Sunday nights. And I want to acknowledge you, Robert Beatty, for this practice continuing ceaselessly as I've come into contact with you. So thank you for always being there. This is we're an ever-changing community. So thank you for being there steadily with the ever-changing community.
Thank you, Hadley.
And all we go through.
Mm-hmm. The criteria for books, primarily Buddhist, some psychological. Travel books, not so much. Yeah. I think there's some poetry there, too. Connie is there from 12 to 2 on Sundays at this point. Last Sunday was the first Sunday it was open, and at least 10 or 15 books went out the door. It was quite lovely to see. And there's a fine system now for tracking them. It used to be that books would go out and maybe a third would come back, but we're going to do our best to actually have it be a lending library rather than a donation of books out to the world.
Hello, Robert. It's Susan.
Hello, Susan. Hi.
We're in the North Salish Sea. I think it was 7 or 8 weeks ago when I was in Europe and broke my arm and had COVID at the same time, that you made the suggestion that it was an opportunity for a retreat. And I'm thinking today about the donkey and how critically important then it was every single day to shake it off and step forward in order to get the care I needed and the food I needed and to get home in order to have surgery. And on Friday, this past Friday, you were talking about, at least what resonated with me was the suffering of uncertainty. And I'm noticing now how I need to, and you can see I'm in a exotic brace as I continue to recover from what was quite complicated and extensive surgery, rebuilding my elbow,
Ugh.
putting ligaments back together and plates and things. And I'm now at the place where I don't know how much recovery I'm going to get, how much function,
Right.
and finding that the uncertainty of that and not knowing what pain is a caution and what pain is progress.
Yeah.
And just beginning to sit with that and to let myself notice and feel the emotions that come up from, okay, I have a great deal of patience. I learned patience waiting in line for amusement park rides when I was a child. For hours I could wait in line, and I have patience. I can live this and experience it, but it's very interesting how much in the face of the acute injury, how much I could focus and shake off and stay present, and how difficult it is now 8 weeks later.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
Yeah, orthopedic surgery really sucks. I've had more
orthopedic
than my
surgeons
share,
aren't
and
the
the
best,
pain of that is really a challenge in my experience.
yeah, managing discomfort.
Yeah.
And I wanted to thank you again, and I'm sure I've said this before, for some of your guided meditation, because during that time, body scanning was my morning ritual. Since I was in a different time zone and 7 a.m. was 4 p.m. to join the daily sit, I woke up and used body scanning to stay present. And I was saying to Gregory while you were traveling before how great it is. I'll remind you for jet lag to do body scanning since you are about to experience some.
I'm about to take an old body across time zones very fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Frank actually built in 2 days when I get there to just rest. Imagine that. That's pretty cool.
None.
Well, may your healing go very smoothly. And that physical, the thing about when is it, what pain is good pain and what pain is the wrong thing. When I had my quadriceps tendons tear off back in 1990 and then they fixed them, the physical therapy was bending the knee until there would be a snapping feeling accompanied by a sharp pain, which was the releasing of adhesions. And the physical therapist would tell me, yes, that's a good thing. It's like, that's a good thing. Because the body experienced it as this is a bad thing, something snapping. But yeah, it's good to have good company, isn't it? People who know what they're doing with these things. Because I would never have done that on my own.
It's frightening to try and do it on your own. And the one piece of advice I got last week was, well, if the pain you have when you're pushing the flexibility exercises continues after you stop doing it, then it's probably the wrong pain.
Aha. That makes sense, actually. Yeah. Well, shake it off and step up, I guess, huh? Who's shoveling all this dirt in on top of me?
Susan Daria here. I've had many orthopedic surgeries and I really feel for you. I actually have a matching leg brace to your knee brace from my most recent knee surgery last August. But I really hear you on the difficulty, how it's really easy to stay present with the body, easy, relatively speaking, when it's acute. And I often talk with friends who have surgery or illness about how the acute time is such a time of survival and literal pain, and it really keeps you in the moment. And then as you begin to heal more and gain a little more freedom of movement and autonomy, it's challenging to trust your body and trust your judgment um, and sit with that uncertainty that you're talking about. I feel for you. There definitely are a lot of lessons in there. It's hard, and I think you're totally right to go to your body and find the solace that you need in your breath and direction for decisions on whether or not you're pushing yourself too much or just right. And sometimes we have to cross those boundaries into the too much to know where the boundaries are. So please take the time that you need and trust yourself. And I did send you in the chat my email and phone number if you want to talk anytime.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Take care.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Well, friends, I need to go fairly soon. Anybody sitting with anything that you'd like to speak or that wants to speak itself? So let us go out on a song. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. May all beings receive all blessings. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, dear friends. May we all have a wonderful, powerful, compassionate day of mindfulness in all activities. Adios. Goodbye.